is the stupidest one? Elon, Trump, or Kanye? Or who is the biggest loser? This is a very difficult question. I mean, if you had to ask me without thinking about it too much, I would say, okay, Kanye's the biggest loser, Trump is second biggest loser, Elon is third biggest. But we have to examine some factors. I guess first you think of where did they come from, right? So Trump came born with $1 billion. So in a way he would be the biggest loser because he threw it all away. Kanye wasn't born with $1 billion, but he still had like league parents, I think. So, but he made it a lot further in life with a lot less than Trump. Elon was given a small amount by his father, but then he threw it all away on Twitter and made a fool of himself. I once heard a great quote: "The difference between stupidity and genius is that genius has limits." So there's no end to how much detail I could get into on how stupid these stooges are, but I'll try. I've just got to do my best here. I'm going to try to alternate between each as I make a point about each. We'll start with Kanye. The first thought that comes to my mind: the dude actually loves people who hate him, like who are racist against him. He likes Adolf, who wouldn't even shake his hand if he had a glove on, right? Like, that is the saddest. I think that already makes him the biggest loser. This is a black man who's basically come right out and said that he hates blacks. I mean, it's astonishing. You could just go on about it for the rest of this course. I mean, it reminds me of Dave Chappelle, where the black guy is in the KKK. It really is like Kanye wants to be in this club. Who hates him? Who thinks that he is like a lower form of life? Yeah, I think I've already decided Kanye's the biggest loser, but then again, I think he has too. Now, Elon, the truly sad thing about him was that if he had just not bought Twitter and had kept his mouth shut, serious people, intelligent people like myself would have thought he was a genius. Like, I didn't know anything about him. I just heard that he's a genius. Oh my God, he's pioneering, colonizing Mars, and he's the richest guy in the world, and he's brilliant, and he's self-made, and all this crap. Then he buys Twitter, and everybody now knows that he's an idiot. Everybody now knows, well, at least anybody with a brain now knows that he doesn't have a brain. And if nothing else, I hope the one thing that the average IQ'd person has realized from these three imbeciles is that wealth does not equal intelligence or creativity. Now, in terms of laziness, like generally just being a lazy, lousy nothing that never did anything in life, Trump is the easy winner. He doesn't just beat Elon and Kanye, he beats almost everybody. This is a guy who has never worked a day in his life. This is a guy, actually on YouTube, somebody once said, commented on a comment I made and said, "Oh my God, you know how hard Trump works doing all those rallies?" I'm like, that's not work. He's just stroking his ego. If that's not work, to just be praised and have people applaud you while you just go on about yourself, that's heaven. This is a guy who not only has never read a book, he's never even read one page of a book. This is a guy who had somebody else do his tests for him in high school and college because he was too stupid to do them. And then the guy that did the test for him still failed because Trump wasn't even smart enough to pay someone who's smart enough to do the test correctly. It would be like Trump's the kind of guy who hires a drug addict to do a urine test for him. Now, Kanye may be particularly the dumbest because he has no talent and no brains, but Everybody called him a genius for like decades. They call him a genius. And this is what happens when you get a moron and you call him a genius for decades. It's like he's a guy that doesn't even know how to tie his shoes. He's too stupid to even know how to tie his shoes. But yet they're paying him to design shoes. And like, I've studied Mozart and Bach for decades. I know how vast, how impressive a genius is. And I'm sorry, the field that he's in, this rap crap, it's not a field where genius is even possible. It's just crap. It's just banter. And there's like 5 different guys writing the same song. Like, it's not one person that created this. Like, there's no capacity for genius there. And I'm not just saying that about rap, rock music too. It's just like, yo, hey, la la la. And that's the whole song. I mean, the one thing that might have saved Kanye from being dumber than and more of a loser than Trump and Elon would be to say he's creative at least. But he's not creative. I mean, didn't he? No, that was R. Kelly, I believe I Can Fly. And you know, it's funny because anybody who's not musically educated thinks that any kind of music is genius. I watched the R. Kelly documentary where all the young girls are saying, well, you know, you got to realize R. Kelly was a genius. I'm like, that's not genius. Like, I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. That's like that's kindergarten level music. It's like if you sang doe, a deer, a female deer, and everybody's like, oh my God, that's genius. It's so profound. It's so passionate. Okay, a pathetic thing about Elon Musk is that, you're the richest man in the world, and, everybody thinks you're a genius, but people don't understand how charismatic you are and what a great personality you have. So he decides to blow all his money to try to show off his sparkling personality, only to discover that nobody likes him. I mean, I don't like. Okay, look, I don't think Donald Trump is charismatic. I mean, everybody's got charisma if they make it work for them. I don't think Elon Musk has ever really talked to people enough. I don't think he's developed his charisma enough to just all of a sudden show up on the world stage as a personality and expect to articulate it, to have it communicate to anybody. Instead, everybody's just like, this guy's weird. Like, you want to present your personality to everybody and show everybody how cool you are. Well, you got to start hanging out with people and like understanding how to associate and like how it works. You know, how the right things to say, the wrong thing. He just doesn't know because he hasn't spent any time around people, I don't think. But he permanently destroyed his reputation as a genius inventor, all so that he could try to be cool, so he could get in with the cool crowd. And the cool crowd said, you're a freak, you're a loser, and you're ugly. Okay, now Trump is the biggest loser because he never made a penny in his life. He got it all from daddy. And nobody likes a spoiled brat who just inherited everything. People, when I say people, I mean like sensible people, not MAGA nuts. People have no respect for you if you just took your daddy's money and did nothing, which is what most spoiled brats do. His daddy helped him to not fight in the army by saying that he had bone spurs, right? So he's such a wimp. He couldn't fight in the army. He used his daddy's money to buy a casino, and then he couldn't manage it, and it was failing. And it's pretty hard to fail at a casino, so his daddy had to come and help bail him out of the bankruptcy problem when he couldn't run a casino. All of New York laughed at him for most of his life for being a loser. And basically, he inherited a fortune, and he blew it all, and he's broke now. And his children are going to have nothing after he dies, right? The whole empire dies with him because he had to eat everything because he's such a pig. I think it was Seth Meyers who said, like, if he has a penny left when he dies, he's going to want to be buried with it. But don't forget about this doofus who wanted to support Trump. Trump, who hates people like Kanye. Hates them. And look at him, shit-eating grin. Yeah, I'm one of you. I'm a white guy like you. Okay, one of the, I don't want to say most pathetic things, I guess, is that he played the race card for years and years and years. I remember when there was like a flood or something in like New Orleans or something, and George W. Bush didn't do anything about it, and Kanye West goes up on with Mike Myers, and he goes, George Bush hates black people, and so he loved playing the race card as long as it was for himself to prop up his own career. But you know what? Like I felt like saying, buddy, if you play, you got to leave some race cards for the people that really need them, right? You play all the race cards, there's going to be none left. So he screwed over black people by constantly crying about being black, when there's actual people who are suffering from being black. This dude's a millionaire. He's got nothing to cry about. More like billionaire. And you know, for every Kanye West who's a billionaire, there's a billion black kids that have no money. But by all means, play the race card. Talk about how oppressed you are, or whatever. I don't even know what he talked. I don't even think he can put a sentence together. But in case I didn't mention it already, these people are not just losers, they're also stupid as hell. Really stupid people. Okay, so Elon Musk. Okay, he did what Thomas Edison did by stealing other people's inventions and making money off of them. So he's not an inventor. People thought he was an inventor. No, but he has no abilities in physics or anything at all, except stealing other people's ideas, right? He's a fraud. He's a thief. When he was in Silicon Valley, they say, any moron could have made $1 million. It was impossible not to make a fortune in those days. He was at the right place at the right time, and that's all there is to it. And my conviction that he's a complete, utter moron and like a waste with no talent whatsoever, like he doesn't know how to build a rocket ship, is because just look at how badly he did Tesla. You can't do anything that badly and be good at anything. But isn't it just so, again, cringeworthy how he wants to be popular? He wants to be, he wants people to think he's cool. You know, I mean, thank God some of us got the whole cool thing out of our system in high school. I guess he never got it out of his system. This is what happens to a nerd in their middle age, when they can finally show everybody and get revenge. He's a nerd bully. You can finally show everybody how cool you are. But it's too late, Elon. It's too late. You're a nerd, and there's only one thing worse than a nerd: an ugly nerd. Okay, well, I guess it makes Trump a loser that he's got terrible, like a defunct hair implant that the whole world looks at all the time and laughs at. I guess that's pretty bad. And like, don't forget, he dyes his hair, right? He's like almost 80 and he's got blonde hair, right? And everybody makes fun of, says Joe Biden is so old. Well, Joe Biden doesn't dye his hair blonde, and he didn't have hair implants, at least not as badly as Trump did. He went to go see a movie when his brother was dying in the hospital, and then after his father died, he stole his niece's inheritance. That's another good one. His whole family hates him. So many members of his family and so many people that have been close to him bash him and call him an idiot and a loser. I mean, that kind of sucks, eh? That's gotta suck. I mean, if we're trying to objectively determine whether somebody's a loser and stupid, we would have to factor these things in. Oh, and he's in love with his daughter, and a porn star said that he has a tiny penis. Kanye is perhaps the biggest loser and the stupidest because of what he said about how he loves Nazis and Hitler. He can never, he'll never be welcome in this town again. He can't show his face anywhere. That ugly face. And you know what? It's good because nobody look. He's certainly the ugliest of the three. That bloated zit-looking face. It looks like a pimple you want to pop. But imagine that. Imagine being persona non grata, being unwelcome everywhere, where everybody just thinks you're a freak. Like, like he'll never. Who's ever gonna like invite him to their birthday party? Which I'm gonna leading up to the birthday party. Did I just say that Kanye's the ugliest of the three? Because I might take that back. In fact, I'm not sure who's the ugliest of the three. Trump was a good-looking guy when he was younger, so you can give him that much. This guy looks like, well, he's got a fat head, just kind of like Kanye. He's got these tiny little eyes. He's like a weird-looking, like, he kind of looks like Seth, is it Seth MacFarlane, the Family Guy guy? Like, he's a really freaky-looking guy, yeah, it's weird, eh? It's almost like he's got all his facial hair surgically removed, like in his oil greased up, like to look like a doll, like a mannequin. Imagine how much work he's had done on him, and imagine having all this plastic surgery and you look like that still. You know, maybe he should have concentrated more on being cool when he was in high school. Maybe that would have been better for him than just being a nerd and, like, I don't know, plotting how he's going to get revenge when he's 48 and he's the richest man in the world. Because the revenge ain't going so well, Elon. But what often comes to my mind is, how small must your penis be for you to be the richest man in the world and still be insecure as hell? Like, what does the world have to do to make you feel good about yourself? You freaky little. Like, what's wrong with your penis? What's wrong with you? What's your problem? He's like a guy who shows up at a nightclub in a Ferrari, like with the red carpet rolled up for him, and still the women are like, ew. And, you know, it's not that impressive to have a bunch of morons following you. So the fact that Trump commands a cult, well, I mean, there's a lot of idiots that could command cults. Basically, you just look for people, other idiots and other losers who, you know, they want to join the gang. And I mean, look, Britney Spears was an adolescent pop dumbass. With all due respect, it was selling crap to teenagers, garbage. She would admit that her music was garbage. I hope she would. It's not that impressive to fool fools. I think it was Kierkegaard who said that the way the world would end would be like a theater being on fire, and the clown comes and tries to tell everybody the theater is on fire, but nobody takes the clown seriously. Whereas it actually is happening the opposite way. We've got a clown telling the world, saying that the theater isn't on fire, and everybody believes him. And he stared at an eclipse. He thought that the way you could combat coronavirus was to inject bleach into your body. Just going through the list here. And he drew on a map with a weather map with a Sharpie to try to change the weather. How these people make me sick. So this moron Kanye. Okay, so firstly, okay, oh my God. Okay, so he's crying like an idiot during his campaign announcement, where he just starts saying crap like he wishes he didn't have a daughter and he didn't want to have a daughter. He's saying this after he had a daughter. And then he does these speeches like on talk shows where he's spacing out like a 16-year-old on acid, thinking that every thought is profound. Like, we live in different realities, and my reality overlaps and intersects with your reality, and we have illusions that we use. We use our illusions. I think in the ninth dimension, I'm playing ninth dimensional chess, right? Like these moronical, like stuff that only the dumbest people say, or 14-year-old kids. It's like, oh my God, I just walked into the kitchen. But did I walk into the kitchen? Or did my body walk into the kitchen? I mean, where do I begin? And where does my existence, like, it's all existence, Who knows? And why is up? Why is up necessarily up? It could be down. These are things that need to be questioned. Why does 1 + 1 = 2? Right? We have to get into the nooks and crannies of math. It's like he thinks that everything that he thinks, he's the first person who thought it. Whereas, no, that shit's been thought about for thousands of years. It's a very old question. Don't worry about it. Like, you're not the first. Just because you think you are. But then again, I think he said that he tries not to read books, so I guess it shows. But the one thing that makes it absolutely undeniable to me that he is a completely brain-dead moron, like as dumb can be, is his belief that using homonyms is a sign of intelligence or creativity. So a homonym is a word that can mean two different things, but it's spelled the same. So like, he had a kid and he called his kid Northwest, and he thought that was he probably thought that was really clever. That is unmistakable stupidity. Like, he thought that was clever, and that is amazing. And the funny thing is, like I've said before, people who think that like sarcasm is automatically intelligent. No, it's not. There's stupid sarcasm and there's intelligent sarcasm. So just because he's using homonyms doesn't mean it's clever. And not, or to outdo himself, because it wasn't clever enough to call his child, Northwest? He says he's running for president. He says he's calling his party the birthday party. Oh, wow. That is really clever. So, like, and if there's 10 people in your party, you can call it a party of 10. Or if you've got, like, a dog there, you could, a party animal. If you go to the zoo, you can say you're having a party. You've got a party animal at the zoo. If someone's going to the bathroom at a party, you can call them a party pooper. And then he'll call his next kid the Old West or Due West. Wow, the cleverness. The cleverness, like, I mean, if you can Google the cleverness and find out, like, I'm sorry, it's not clever. So to wrap this up, Elon Musk might be the biggest loser because he almost got away with going down in history as a great genius, but then he had to spoil it all by admitting to the whole world that he's a complete idiot and a fraud. Donald Trump showed the world that he can recite and remember person, woman, man, camera, TV, but he hasn't proven that he knows what any of those words mean. All the countries in the world are laughing at him. He's a rapist. He says he has great genes. Well, his father had dementia, and he's getting a big kick of it right now. It's kicking in. So how are your great genes going, Donald? You've got dementia. All the lying he does must be hell for his mind. He lies in his own sentences. Like, he contradicts himself within his own sentences. That's how obvious it is that he's a liar. And I think that's about it. If you support gays, click like. If you respect blacks, comment. If you think women are people too, click the notification bell. And if you care about sick children, subscribe.